Good evening, ladies. My name is Ryan Davis. I'll be speaking on child abuse and neglect. Okay. Now, as we know, bringing a child into this world is a precious gift from God to us men and women. Don't y'all agree?
Yes.
Right. And y'all do it, because I know as a father of 3, 10, 3, and 1, birthday's coming up soon, which I'm going to prepare. I would do just about anything for them, and so they can have a cheerful, honest childhood leading into their adult life. I'm sure y'all would agree also. Now, how many ladies in the audience have children? How many you have, ma'am?
2.
You, ma'am?
3.
You, ma'am?
2.
That's good. And we're gonna look into the definition of abuse and neglect. Abuse. Any physical injury, sexual abuse, or emotional abuse inflicted on a child other than by accidental means by those responsible for the child's care, custody, and control. Neglect. Failure to provide the proper necessary support, education as required by law, nutrition, or medical, surgical, or any care necessary for the child's well-being. You know, when you hear about children getting neglected by their own parents, foster, I mean, does it break your heart? Y'all wish y'all could see the signs and just snatch them up and save them and take them under your wing? Because I know any parent, especially non-parent, where a undefensive child can't do nothing. In which this brings my next slide here. This was a 2-year-old baby, a girl. Mother accused burning her with scalding water. I mean, what was the reason for that? You know, for us honest parents that want to see our children grow up to have the education and a successful life, what would make you create such behavior to this innocent child that has no knowledge of why you doing harm to me? And it says, according to a family found law, each day 4 or 5 children are killed or abused by their parents due to overly drinking, and 3 times more abused by utilizing drugs, and 4 times likely to be neglected than other children. I mean, doing the unthinkable to your children bothers me, and I'm sure it bothers y'all. I mean, even part of this world today. It's just the impact, the impact of neglect can experience short-term, long-term effects throughout their life, because if the child or children never receive that type of receive love, care they need from their parents, they will find it difficult to maintain a good, healthy relationship with other people later on in life, including their own children if they do decide to have children, because children feed off us and they listen to us, so they are, whatever that action might be, then they think it will be okay when they're on their own. And this will bring my next slide shows the percentage of children being abused and neglect. Now you see this big red little over half a circle. It says 78%, but if we round that up, that's 80% of children being neglected in this world today. Medical neglect is the small, skinny blue. I would say probably about maybe 2 or 3%. Physical abuse is the second largest, 18%. And the sexual abuse is 9%. And why? Why would you, sexual abuse a child? And I mean, I just find it disgusting. And the excuse me, psychological is 8.5%, and other is probably anything, getting murdered or whatever it might be. They say, according to National Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children, if a child has a poor relationship, attachment, or a little interaction with a parent, then it can change their brain development, emotional and verbally. Now this is what brings my next slide. I kind of jumped ahead. This is my next slide. How many people, in all this, how many people recognize this boy? Right? Anybody recognize the parents? Now y'all know the story behind this. I mean, look at that innocent, beautiful boy. His dad, his own flesh and blood dad, and his wicked stepmother murdered that 7-year-old son. I mean, the imaginable. I mean, this 7-year-old boy named Adrian was put in the care of his father and his stepmother, but instead of loving and protecting him, they neglect and abuse and torture him beyond the imaginable. He was starved to death, he was left in the cold, and later died while tied to a chair and fed to pigs. Now, I know what's going through your heads right now because it's going through my head too, but I'm not going to say that because we all on the same page. I mean, how could anyone do something so cruel and sickening to this innocent child who only wants to be loved, cherished, and grow up to be somebody? But we would never know, right? Now, my next slide is kind of disturbing because this, hopefully, maybe it get through people in the world today to see how abuse and neglect is just hurtful. Y'all have to forgive me. It says abuse after and before. I couldn't flip the pictures, so this was before. I mean, precious little boy, and this is what they was doing to him. And also, he lived in Kansas. And the mother and the father are facing life, which they do deserve. Facing life. And I don't have a video, but as you can see, this is him outside. He look like he's on his knee. I mean, crying. They got me in tears right now. I mean, look. And I mean, stop the child abuse and neglect. I mean, if you have a plan, if you have a plan to have children with significant issues going in life, and unsure of yourself as a parent, give your child or children to a family man, because there are resources out there to help those issues so you can enjoy life and make the right decision and care and love for your children. In addition, it can help mitigate these consequences and can help ensure neglect is not transmitted to the next generation. So as my conclusion, prevent child abuse so all children can have a successful life and thankful for I'm sorry, I'm a little emotional. Prevent child abuse so all children can have an honest and cheerful life, and they leading into adult life. Thank you.